All right, welcome back, everybody, to episode 14's after show here on Mistweaver Monks. Welcome back. Okay, you guys should be unmuted. Hello?
Oh, hey.
Hello? Hello?
I love that we can talk. I love that we talk to you during the break and you don't answer because you have us all muted.
Yeah, I can't hear you. You have to type to me. Yeah. Sorry, gosh. Once I get enough help from these amazing people out here, then I can upgrade the show and I can not have to worry about that. I can just mute the stream and I can still talk to you guys, but I can't right now. So, oh well.
Hey, Bae, some people in the chat missed the wristbands, so
yes, I was going to say that right now, actually.
That you re-show them to everyone.
Re-show them. Well, again, these are messed up because they didn't come there. So they are supposed to be ink-filled debossed, right? So they're debossed, which is into... I'm going to manually focus my camera here. So these guys... There we go. Right? So they're debossed properly. FinalBossTV, the WoW in-game rating show.
Oh, it focused. Nice.
Well, yeah, I'm manually focusing my camera. And then on the back, there's little Ragnar's face. Damn it, my fingers are not working properly. Right? There's little Ragnar's face. Yeah. He's so cute. He's so cute. He's so cute. But the thing is, these are debossed, but they're not ink-filled. They're supposed to be orange in the middle, just like Ragnar's face down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. We use the blue from the blue here and the orange to fill his in, but I got 400 of these, and they're not filled in, so I'm getting 400 more that should be filled in. They should be here tomorrow. So we're bringing these. Anna, Reese, myself, and Emily will all have them. So if you ever if you bump into us at Blizzcon, ask us for one, because that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. Yep. And we'll have our t-shirts on. At least, I'm trying to get the girls to wear theirs at least one of the main days, but I'm not sure yet with what they want to do, because I know, Anna, you're wearing yours with me for the WoW Insider show, or the party, rather?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
We're coordinating on Thursday. Apparently coordinating our outfits is the new thing.
Yes.
So, yes.
I mean, I'm wearing mine. It sounds terrible, but I'm going to wear mine that night and the Friday, Saturday, because I want people to be able to find me. I'm going to wear my guild shirt afterwards. But, Thursday, I think we're all wearing them because we're going to be at the WoW Insider shindig at the Annabella, and then Friday and Saturday I'm wearing mine. But you should hopefully, if Emily and Reese want to wear theirs, it's totally fine. I know you have other shirts to wear, but it doesn't matter. You can find us because you know what our faces look like, and we'll all have wristbands. So there are youth sizes, which are a ½ inch short, smaller, which is this size right here. This is for like ladies, and then there's a one size larger, which is for dudes usually. So, because I can't get this on my wrist, like I can't. This is too, like I can't do it.
It'll probably be my size. It'll be fine.
This is the youth size.
The Anna size.
The Anna size, and then the ones that I'm holding right here, which are the not filled in ones, right? These, I'm keeping these here, and what I'm gonna do is, I say this now. Hopefully, it doesn't explode, and I have way too much work to do. I want to send these to all of our past guests, which I'll do slowly as I work on it, and then. For anyone that donates to become a supporter of the show that donates, I'm probably going to send a couple out to each person because that information comes in the PayPal donation. And that is totally up to you guys. Totally up to you guys. Eventually, when we have a store set up with shirts and these, it'll be easier to do it. But right now, it's all on me. But if anyone does want to do that, that would be totally up to you. And I think that's the best way I can say thank you is to mail you a couple of these. So...
Yeah, and actually, since it got brought up in chat, yes, Final Boss will be at the Annabella for the WoW Insider party. We actually got an official invitation from the WoW Insider staff to the Final Boss cast.
So awesome.
Which is really cool because I go every year anyway. I really like that party. There's a lot of, I like the people who write for WoW Insider. They're a great group of people, and it's always a really fun time to start the con off. But I actually got an email from somebody on the staff who said that they had extended an official invitation to the Final Boss cast and crew. So we will definitely be there. We'll be there early. We'll be hanging out. We'll be in Final Boss t-shirts. So make sure you find us and say hi.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. What do you mean you might bump into me, Sky? We're all going to be... What? What the heck? We're all in the same guild. Of course, we're going to hang out at Sam's house and everything else. But, no, yeah, we have shirts for... Oh, limit the... Oh, my God. Did anyone see that? My wristband just flew away from me. But, it just... What the heck?
I had to wait for the delay because I can only watch the Twitch stream. That was pretty epic. Well done, Bae. Well done.
Sorry. But that's going to be a lot of fun. That's super awesome. If anyone's from the WoW Insider, WoWhead side, that's really awesome that you guys invited us. we don't. I don't know if we deserve it or not yet. We're still a very small fish in this giant Warcraft sea, but it's gonna be awesome. But we have some questions here. I have 2 big ones that are on the actual docket here from the actual notes that I'll put up. So the first one comes in from I'm gonna say Selena from US Malfurion. Asks, do you think fist weaving is still a viable way for a Mistweaver to heal, or would you say that healing at range or Mistweaving would be far superior? Who wants to give a definitive on that? Red?
Well, healing at range, you don't have to stand at range to actually heal as you would anyway.
Sure.
I think that's what people misunderstand about this. Fist weaving is when you just primarily use jab to generate chi and muscle memory procs, and then use that chi to convert it to damage and then healing. Mistweaving or normal healing, you can do that. Usually, I do that in melee anyway, but I just don't, change to fist weaving if needed. It's fist weaving viability is questionable, and it depends a lot on for the lack of targeted healing that we have in terms of Mist and Uplift. I think the smart healing from fist weaving can be beneficial in as long as they're in range, but a lot of the time it's very small healing, and it's usually covered by other healers in the raid, and of course, as that log showed earlier, it is possible to get a really good, it's possible to do really well with it, but it's just very, dependent on your other healers, and it's dependent on if. Sorry.
It's just not. It looks like it's hard for you to. It's interesting that you can break that down, because we talked about it right before the end of the show proper, that it seems very almost fight to fight basis. You can't just you can't just be a fist weaver. Like, you can't just be that, because some fights it just doesn't work.
Something that we forgot to mention as well is that fights with Elegon, for example, or Garelon's legs, fights with increases on damage, either a buff on you or a debuff on the boss that makes it take more damage. Yeah. Those benefit directly with fist weaving, because it's a percentage of the damage that you deal. Therefore, it was viable for Elegon, for instance, at some points, and it was viable for other fights. But it's very particular fights that's very that makes it viable or not. It's the majority of the time.
It depends on what the damage breakdown is. Like, what are you taking damage from? Like, is it fist smash that you're taking damage from? Like, that changes things a lot. Because if you're on Iron Con, you get fist smash. You're not going to want to fist weave during that. You want to put out a lot of AoE heals. So it really depends. Like, if there's just really tank healing going on, why not? Yeah, fist weave. Let's do it. Sounds great. But if there isn't, if there's a lot of other, a lot of massive healing required, like Rod and Final Phase, no, you're going to want to, there is no benefit to fist weaving in those situations. You want to go full Mistweaver, that sort of thing. So, yes, there's a time and a place for it, but can you actually do it for massive AoE healing throughput? No, absolutely not. Okay. But it's the same thing. You wouldn't have a Disc Priest use Atonement during that time either. Other than maybe trying to get Archangel stacks. They just wouldn't go full-time Atonement.
Yeah. And again, I think it just goes back to, you could do it. You could both Mist and Fist Weave on an encounter. But I think for the long and short of you're trying to say is that you can't just only Fist Weave.
Yeah.
I think is what some people might be asking. I only want to punch the things for the heals. That's probably not super effective. No.
Do you think this is meeting the vision that Blizzard had for fist weaving? Because I know they were really pumping it when they came up with the whole idea of monks. This was supposed to be something that was really integral to the class. Do you think that the way it's working right now really meets the design goal? I know that's kind of more a nebulous question.
I think they just shifted it over to Disc Priest, to be honest, with Atonement. But
I think it has fallen short, but I think they can come back to it. Like initially during the beta, we had 2 types of chi, light and dark chi.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now,
What do you?
Now, if you can imagine that there is chi used for fist weaving and chi used for mist weaving, like ranged and melee, I feel like maybe that could work. Granted, it's another resource which is terrible to manage, but if you can completely neglect it and remove the, granted, again, it kind of raises some questions with muscle memory and like exclusivity one way or the other. I'm sure that there could be some sort of crossover between the two to kind of, again, kind of give it a little bit more of an atonement feel. Maybe not necessarily exactly that, but, there's a lot of options that they could do. So I'm hoping, in the next, next week we'll find something out that will just, make us fall in love all over again.
Again, I 6.0 is probably going to be pretty amazing. So I can't think of a way that they could just like legitimately fail on everything they've worked on, because I know they have big things happening with obviously being an expansion, and then we're looking at going to the item squish and all those other things. But I trust Blizzard. We've been playing this game for how long now? I've been playing Blizzard games for even longer. There's not a lot of, well, that was terrible, That doesn't really come out with Blizzard very often. So I believe it should be really good, but
I
so
think right
much.
Now, I think right now it's just the preparing for the Corgis expansion. I think we just they've given up with our throughput stats, stacking, no spirit kind of thing. They've just given up with everything. Gonna hopefully do an overhaul in 6.0. Hopefully.
Yeah.
With the Corgis and just everyone's
of
happy.
The Corgis.
Be top dog. Oh, that was good.
Grab the next question, Anna. I'm gonna copy and paste it. You can bring it up.
Oh, this next one. That's right. We had this question a bunch in chat and we never got to it.
Correct.
About stat weights.
Yep.
Going into tier 16, what stat weights are proving better? Haste, crit, intellect? And this is from someone who wants to know about reforging and gemming. And somehow I have a feeling that the answer to this is not going to be a simple answer.
No. Probably
so have
not.
at it.
Who wants it first? I'm just gonna leave it up to.
I want to hear from.
I can go ahead and take
Jaydaa?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Jaydaa.
So for stat weights, we kind of went over mastery and how it terribly scales. We went over kind of spirit. We don't have a good way to convert mana into throughput.
Yes.
Which again is hopefully something we can do. So what we're kind of looking at is int, crit, and haste. So obviously crit, double the amount of healing that you do if it crits. Int is just an overall stat increase, and it also provides a minor amount of crit, and then obviously haste. So one of the issues with Mistweavers in general is with haste, we do, from our passive stance, our Stance of the Wise Serpent, we do get 50% haste bonus. So our haste scaling is 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is not a lot of our abilities scale with haste. So of the ones that do scale, we have Soothing Mist, Enveloping Mist. So Soothing are kind of just our general like spot heal kind of thing. Enveloping Mist is our giant hot. Spinning Crane Kick and Rushing Jade Wind all stick in the same one, which is our AoE, our spin to win, if you will.
Yeah.
And then Renewing Mist, which is our hot that adds more ticks to it. But outside of that, we don't really have a lot that scales off of haste. Everything is instant cast. So even when you're, if you're using Soothing Mist and you're spamming Surging Mist or Enveloping Mist during those are all instant cast. Uplift is an instant cast. Expel Harm, instant cast. So the things that you're really looking at is more like Spinning Crane Kick and Soothing Mist and Renewing Mist for those. But you can go ahead. I don't know if you have those links open, Bay.
I have the little graph here that Reglitch made. I do.
Yeah, which is perfect. Which again, I want to hurry and point out, like, we are definitely not the only Mistweavers. Reglitch, there's amazing people on MMO Champion. Temerity has a great Mistweaver calculation. You'll find a number of people. So we are not the only people that are doing Mistweaving and basically being the pioneers of our class. So we really thank those people that are doing that work. But
most of them are in chat right now.
Yeah, most of them are in chat, so they're all there.
If you want to post links, guys, just ask. One of the mini bosses will permit you. We have a lot of stuff blocked in chat because of all the bot spammers that have been on Twitch lately and people trying to troll. classes when we're trying to really put out great information. So we just try to keep it under locks. If you have a link to post that is congruent to the conversation or constructive, just ask. We have mini bosses for a reason. That's what we call our mods.
I think the implied comment was that Temerity has a great Mistweaver who makes a great calc. So see, it was a compliment.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry if it didn't sound that way. It totally is. I use it all the time when I'm just like briefly checking things. Reglitch makes a great spreadsheet. There's tons of like information out there. We're not the only ones. That's where that's coming from.
Sure. So we can jump into your graph here. Yep.
Onto the chart when we're talking about haste. This is renewing mist, the haste, the ticks, and the duration of it. So on the bottom you'll see haste. As your haste is increasing, the blue line is your ticks. The red is your duration. And on the left axis there, you'll have the duration and the number of ticks. So typically, what you're seeing there is like the duration time there, and basically what you're seeing is, as with all hots, with all dots, you get a duration decrease until you add an extra tick onto your hot or dot. So the same applies for renewing mist, but because we use uplift and it goes through renewing mist, haste can potentially harm your throughput. Maybe not in a great way, but it doesn't really happen for any other healer except for us. Whereas if you are between breakpoints or just about to hit one, you lose, even off the first breakpoint, you're losing almost, a second and a half. Yeah. Where, if you're trying to get the maximum number of uplifts out there, or maximum number of renewing mist, so you get the maximum number of uplifts, if you're not at a breakpoint, you could potentially be losing a lot of healing at the end of your renewing mist ticks so it's one of those problems that is very unique to Mistweavers. So when we're looking at stat weights, what you typically want to go for is haste at breakpoints. Anything more, anything less, you could potentially be shooting yourself in the foot in terms of throughput. So in terms of stat priority, at a lower gear level, you typically want to go for int, haste to a breakpoint, and then crit. Again, then playing with all healers a spirit that you're comfortable with, and mastery, it just doesn't scale well, as we've kind of gone over.
Yeah, sadly.
At higher gear levels, I'm saying heroic, TOT, and beyond. That's kind of the breakpoint area, which is about like a 545, 550 eye level. You typically want to go more crit. Crit it just scales better with most of our abilities. I mean, you're talking like even the smaller renewing mist ticks, if one of those crits, which is where, again, when you had seen kind of the breakdown, where you're getting a lot of that throughput. Okay. So once you're at the higher one, you want to focus more on crit, especially with the gems giving you the double amount versus the int. So it's 160 int, 320 crit. Crit just scales really, really well at that point. So again, lower item levels, you typically want to go int, haste to breakpoint, and then crit, mastery, and then at higher ones it's crit, int, haste to a breakpoint is typically what you're going to be doing there.
Okay.
I mean, crit also gives increased manatee stacks as well.
Oh yeah, you should mention that. Go through that.
It's just every time you spend 4 chi, you gain 1 stack of manatee, which takes half a second to go through if unglyphed. Now, there's a chance equal to your crit chance to double the amount of manatee stacks that you actually generate. So, after spending 4 chi, I've roughly 50%, no, a bit less than 50% crit percent raid buffed. So there's a high chance that I will get 2 stacks of manatee after spending 4 instead of 1.
Whoops. Sorry.
Also, there's been a change to chi brew, which also benefits from this crit chance, which means when you cast chi brew, you automatically gain 2 stacks of manatee. But this can also, both of those can also crit, so that potentially you could get 8 out of the 2 uses of chi brew that you have. 8 stacks of manatee out of nowhere. It's pretty ridiculous. It just fuels our lack of need for spirit. Really, it's something.
Mana on top of mana on top of mana.
Yeah, I mean, you started out as an energy-based class to begin with, and it almost seems like you should have just stayed an energy-based class. because you really just have mana for days.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, why do you even have a blue bar?
And as we said earlier, we cannot spend. There's no way to actually put that mana to into throughput in a better way than we already do. There's no spam available apart from spinning crane
there
kick.
is no other AoE heal, because our AoE heals besides spinning crane kick is uplift, and which requires chi. So if we had another uplift type ability that uses mana, yeah, okay, there's a potential there, which we, it was sort of there when we had the uplift glyph, but even then that removes the ability for us to AoE heal via chi. So
yeah,
there's potential there, but it's just not there right now that we can convert that mana to throughput.
It's interesting because they changed hunters from mana to energy finally after forever. I wonder if they're really doing a big overhaul on Mistweavers going into this, that you guys actually become energy based. I think though they're scared energy based healing is basically free forever. You can just heal forever, but it's already in. Drink.
Well,
it's already in Star Wars: The Old Republic, where
Chad already brought that up.
I know that one of the healer classes doesn't have you have energy. Mm-hmm. You heal for days. The skill cap of that goes that obviously some heals cost lots of energy that are not super effective, and some costs a little bit of energy that are effective to keeping up stuff for a while, right? And you have things you can do that are either free, that are kind of like a channeled thing, so your energy can regen for a little while, like kind of a I forgot what it's called. It's a little force channel dealy, but you can still heal for days. But you can the more energy you use, the then slower it will regain. So if you stay at a high energy bracket, like if you heal a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, you'll keep a lot of it. But if you burst all of your energy out there, it takes longer to get it back. So I think that is pretty cool how that worked out. I've done it before, and it's very interesting because all the healing classes in SWTOR, 4 of them, are very different mechanically. But they're all not just mana, which is like WoW is all the time, outside of a little bit differently with you guys, because you have that circle of
you know, whilst the 4-second duration buff is up. So
Sure.
you jab, you Tiger Palm, you get 4% back. Then you jab again with the buff still up, and then you Tiger Palm again. That means that during that period where everything is free, you jab twice and gain 8% mana back. Now, you didn't gain any chi, but you just gained 8% mana in 4 seconds.
For free.
For absolutely free. As long as you are in
Okay.
range of the bots to actually melee, then you just gain 8% mana. Just out of nowhere. Thin air, almost. It's another reason why mana is also not a problem. It's reached a point where I don't even need to do that anymore. Like, I think if I'm in a big healing phase, I clip I clip spinning crane kick. So it's usually a channel for 1.7 seconds. I just clip it once the global is up, and then start another one. So it's cancel or a macro. So in the space of 2 seconds or 2.7 seconds, I'm doing 2 spinning crane kicks, gaining 2 chi. It's just little things like that. You don't need the mana, therefore you can just do whatever you want whilst it's up, and you know, still benefit from it.
Okay.
But,
and then Jaydaa, you're gonna do the caster meta.
So the caster meta, a little different. It's obviously the haste proc, which can be beneficial. You know, you get a little bit more extra haste. You're putting that out on your renewing mist, or so you're using Rushing Jade Wind full time. That extra, I believe it's like 20%, 30% haste, can be fairly beneficial to, you know, getting out the, especially if you're in an AOE environment, that sort of thing. But typically procs on Crackling Jade Lightning and your tier 30 talents. So Chi Burst, Chi Wave, and Zen Sphere.
Okay.
With Zen Sphere being the highest because it's like a dot you put on. Well, it's a hot you put on somebody, but it also applies a dot and then explodes at the end of the duration. So yeah, you could get a lot of haste procs out of there. I don't personally use it. I still like kind of gaming the healer one, just because, you know, like Red said that you could get. You can get the mana from it, the 8% mana, but you can also use it on like Crackling Jade Lightning. So if you clip the very end of the proc, so like you have 0.2 seconds on the proc and you do a Crackling Jade Lightning, the entire rest of your Crackling Jade Lightning is free.
Huh.
So if you want the extra damage, or the same thing with Soothing Mist, if you want the entirety of your next Soothing Mist to be free, you can clip it then. So if you want chi, you can just jab, or if you want damage, you can Crackling Jade Lightning. If you want the mana, you can jab Tiger Palm. That's great. The DPS one can be really beneficial, especially in 10-man. Like you said, it's very similar with. You can also use like the Caster Legendary Cloak as a Mistweaver.
Okay.
Proccing off of the exact same things, your tier 30 and your Crackling Jade Lightning.
Yes.
Which I've seen a lot of people actually doing that. You know, you're thinking Garrosh, the phase 1 when all the ads are coming out. The Caster Cloak adds a lot, and granted, that damage doesn't translate into healing through Eminence, so you're not really gaining a lot of healing throughput. But in terms of just raw damage that you're trying to bring, maybe for like a 10-man, or it's a boss that you're not doing progression on or something, definitely really helpful. You can do some really fun things with that. Reglitch, he's done a lot of simulations in terms of like even a 5-boss cleave or a 5 minion or ad cleave. You can get upwards with that cloak, and just doing a fairly perfect rotation upwards of like 400k DPS.
Now, the one thing I keep thinking of when you guys talked about both of these metas is that this seems, because some people out there are very cruise control for healing. They just kind of like do their thing, and like they pop their cooldowns when they need to, and they just kind of go for it. Both of these meta gems, and even they seem like you need definitely some micromanagement with weak auras or something that shows you when this is about to happen, or like a cooldown, or like the internal cooldown of the meta gem, or something that can show you when it's up, because you obviously need to take advantage of it during the proc, right? So is that just, that's another level of, I hate using the word min-maxing because it makes it seem like we're like elitist up here, which really doesn't apply to everybody. So, but is that just like another level of maintenance that you really need to make sure you have if you want to take advantage of either of these meta gems, right?
It's always helpful to have weak auras with procs and stuff. I mean,
Sure.
I have a big one for the meta proc, but it's about using it. But if I don't need the mana, I'll just ignore it and keep healing as usual. A lot of the time. But it's always nice to have them on your UI, thing. So it ended up with me being on a laptop on my bed, using the bed as a mouse mat. Default UI, apart from bigwigs, with unconfigured bigwigs, with big bars in the middle of my screen, I don't know. And yeah, somehow we killed it that night. I'm not sure how, but...
I can't imagine how A, uncomfortable, and B, unresponsive a mouse on a
my laptop
bedspread.
was on fire. It was, it was overheating.
Ugh. Ugh.
It was horrible.
Pretty epic, though. I mean,
yeah,
that's
and
like
you got the kill
pure
still.
devotion. Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't fraps it though. Shame.
Question comes in from Brutal Static. He asked, when will there be a show for bald and bearded raiders? He said, hashtag #AskABoss, hashtag this is not a real question, hashtag this is just saying hi. So I had to bring it up. I mean, I'm not going bald because my Lannister haircut is like way too much of who I am. But bearded, I mean, I shaped it today. I'm going to keep it this way. I got to shave it before I leave for the show. I don't know if Anna could do a woman hair beard, wrap it around, like what Jenny did back in the day or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, so weird.
I know.
I mean, we had half of the bald and bearded raiders when Sloot was on the show, right?
Yep, we did.
And I think I saw him growing a beard the other day.
Yeah, but he shaved it off, yeah.
Yeah, he shaved it off. Sad face.
Yeah.
One of these days, Zach. Or
One of these days,
Brutal of Static.
Brutal of Static, yeah. This guy. He is not too far, actually. Apparently, we might have lunch soon. I don't know. If I don't show up randomly, he might. I don't know.
Is he gonna be at Blizzcon? Because I want to meet him.
Yeah. Are you gonna be BlizzCon, Brutal? I don't even know.
Is he in chat?
He was. He might have left.
He
might have left. Terrible.
Well, who in chat is gonna be at BlizzCon? Because I want to meet all of you guys.
Let's just do.
Say something in chat if you're gonna be at BlizzCon.
Yeah. Type raise hands or something like that if you're gonna be at BlizzCon.
Can I cry now?
Too many.
Oh, he just got modded.
Get timed out.
Can't do all caps. Oh boy.
Yeah, you can't do all caps.
No, he's gonna get modded again. We really have to turn that off on Nightbot. I mean, everything else that Nightbot mods is fine, but the all caps, like, there are people who just cannot type without all caps. And I know Senya, the Temerity Monk, is in here, and he was saying the same thing, that there's just no way that you can type without all caps, and I'm like that too. Yeah.
Well, it's not
right? Yeah,
it's not all caps. There's a caps limit. I think if you go over 40, it'll blap you. I'll log in right now. You know what? I'll just log in right now.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
I'll fix it live.
Okay, but seriously, who in chat is gonna be at BlizzCon? I know some of you guys are gonna be there. No BlizzCon for Mos Eisley's. That makes me very sad.
Oh. So caps protection is where'd it go? It's if you go over 32. I'll raise it to 40. Let's go to 60 caps. I don't want giant lines of caps, but we'll change it. Bam. All right, I've just doubled the caps limit, so
it'll be okay. I promise, Bay.
Yeah.
I promise. See, uh-oh.
testing. What? No!
Raynor being deleted, I'm fine with. That's cool. You can keep him there.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, it's okay. I haven't known that guy for a while.
The other thing too is,
or maybe he does really think that I hate him. I don't know.
What's gonna happen eventually is once I talk to Nightwalker and we get the limit extended on regular lists for the Nightbot, we'll be able to, the mini bosses will be able to add regulars that they see all the time that are always talking, and then if you are regular, you are allowed to post links without having to ask. So if you are here regularly, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, in the future, we'll figure that out. Especially the people who've been here week after week should definitely be able to post links, because it's kind of a bummer when you post a link and then it like vanishes. So we'll have to make sure that we're on top of that.
I mean, we had this week was fine, but last week we had all the different bot spamming was just awful. So we have to keep some way of controlling it, because otherwise it can get out of hand. Because right now we're a rather modest show, right? We have like regulars that are always here, which you guys are awesome. The mobs and minions of Final Boss, but to some degree, eventually, based on the show, there are lots more viewers here, and a lot of those viewers, there's going to be a percentage of them that are going to be either bots or trolls or whatever. We got to keep it clean for you guys. So there's a lot of stuff on our blacklist, and we just want to keep it, under control here. So I think, okay, Beep Boop, what did you do? That hurts my eyes. I think this is it hurts my face.
Oh, that's
what are you
pro
doing?
right there.
My goodness.
That's how the pros do it.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what playing in a really hardcore 3-night guild does to you. That right there.
Yeah. If there's anything,
that's the insanity.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, if there's anything else, I think we talked about it before, but we're really close to hitting 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube page, which would be awesome. So if you guys haven't gone over and subscribed to the YouTube page, you can go do that. You can also subscribe on iTunes, which is the audio-only version of the podcast. Those go up on the website as well, but through iTunes is super easy. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, follow the stream if you haven't already. People were asking about lag and transcoding options. The best way to do that is just either to be here and to help the stream grow, really. Because getting partnership with Twitch to get transcoding options is kind of a steep road now, because lots of people have gotten it. So they raise the bar a little bit at a time to keep people out. But we should be partnered. Do you not think so?
We should be partnered. It's because we only do the show once a week that makes it such a pain in the neck, but we'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
The more people who come watch and like us, then the more likely we'll be to have that happen. Can offer more options and everything.
People are asking for certain episodes. Obviously, how the show works is that we kind of go back and forth. I want to have one community episode a month and then 3 classes, because there are 34 classes to get to eventually, or spec-wise anyway. And then we might have to revisit some that actually change a lot. We're trying to get all of them done before 6.0, but then when 6.0 drops, we basically wipe it clean and start over again.
All you're going to do is focus on corgis.
Well, of course.
Corgi healing,
we'll just
corgi tanks.
Corgi tanks, Corgi DPS, Corgi, their 4th specialization spec, Corgi Path of the Titans. Yeah.
Can't wait. Can't wait to be a Corgi.
Where did this Corgi stuff come from? Seriously.
Where is the picture?
I've seen the picture, but who sparked this stupid idea of Corgis? I mean, I know Blizzard actually made a Corgi.
Idea.
Stupid idea.
They have like an in-game model for one, isn't it? Like it's like the world boss for Interrail.
I'm trying to find it. Corgi.
We had pandas. Is Corgis really that much of a jump?
Here we go. Someone photoshopped it. It's actually a pretty good Photoshop, right?
So it apparently had a years-long history in the Warcraft universe, so I take back my hatred of Panda.
Yeah. No, they were around since Warcraft 3.
Doesn't that look epic? Look at that.
It does look brilliant, but it's. Oh, please be real. Actually,
I want to play that game.
You've moved me.
That game right there. That game. As long as it has decent.
That game right there doesn't look like it has problems with healer balance.
Oh,
I see
man.
mastery balls around them, so it must be.
Yep.
Is that a blood elf in the back? It looks nothing like a blood elf.
It's like a Lalafell on the back.
Yeah, it looks like a. Yeah.
It's a Lalafell.
Riding the giant corgi, or is she just standing behind it?
She's riding it.
Okay, to me it looks like she's riding. Yeah.
She's on
the.
The giant corgi is being ridden. Okay.
Novel, I'm giving this idea to. I gave Fat Boss one idea for free. I'll give you one idea for free, right? Listen to me out here, right? You make a real, fake video talking about Korgis Unleashed for the next WoW expansion, but act completely deadpan serious about it. All right? Do it.
That would be amazing.
That's for free. All right, I'll give you that because of this, right? That's for free. Get some like fan art, search DeviantArt for it. Just make it real, right? That's for you. Do that. That would be viral gold. That would be epic. I'll send you, in the footage I send you, take some of the stills and like Photoshop Corgi's heads on things, right? Like on the screenshots.
I can't wait for the corgi fan art either.
Oh, it's freaking awful. My goodness, it's amazing, but all right. Oh man, anything else pressing? Or are we good to get out of here, I think?
No, definitely. I feel like we probably covered just about everything, and it is 6:30, so we should probably wrap it on up.
We're good to go. This is the end of the line here, folks. But every week we do. It depends on how big the main show itself is that we push the Q&A to the after show, just because we didn't have time. The packaged show has a roadmap. We want to get to all these key points, and we want to make sure those get in the show, because that's like the big episode, and then the after show is more unscripted, just kind of happen with you guys. So yeah. But you guys are awesome. Again, our guests, Jaydaa. Vigil. Vigil-guild.com. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Absolutely. You want to give me a thumbnail real quick? Sounds good to me.
Got it?
Yep, got it. Redfern, Immersion Guild.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you very much, sir. Want to give me a screenshot?
Not really.
No?
I don't know what to do.
Just, I don't know. Just give me
Just smile at the camera.
Just
Where's
smile
my
at the
top
camera,
hat?
yeah?
Okay.
You have your top hat with you?
Yeah, I didn't buy one.
Oh, you didn't get one.
I'll get my... No, I don't. Okay, go. Now, quick.
Do it.
I'm not good at cameras.
Not gonna. Okay, I got it.
No.
I'll just grab that. What I do is I play.
Just get the worst
I
possible
play the
shot of me.
VOD and I pause it and I take a screen capture. I don't do it live, so.
Okay, that's good.
Oh.
All right, Anna, it's your turn.
Oh no, now I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Just smile.
Can I have I?
She does it all night. Yeah.
Can I do this?
Yeah, you can do that. I probably only get one thumb. Put your thumbs closer to your face. Yeah, winning. Got it. I never know.
Yes. Oh, Reglitch, I'm doing that next week. That's the best idea. That's wonderful. Oh, that's really good.
What did he say?
He says, print out a piece of paper with the Twitch smiley printed on it, and then hold it up.
Oh.
I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that for next week. That's wonderful.
Sure, you can do that. That's pretty good. I'll allow it. Okay. I got mine.
You have no choice. Hey, you have no choice.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna be taking, if you guys in chat, I know probably all of y'all are following me on Twitter, but I am like a Twitter fanatic, especially when it comes to something like BlizzCon. I am gonna be Instagramming like 10 million photos. If I can figure out how to take videos on my phone, I'm gonna be taking short clips and like uploading them. I mean, I know Bay has his whole like job that he does that has to do with media, and for me it's not really a job, it's just, you know, a passion of mine. I love social media, so y'all follow me on Twitter and you'll see all of the cool stuff that I'm going to be really excited about. I'm going to be in LA for pretty much all of next week and taking photos of everyone I hang out with, so make sure that you follow me. That's a better way to do it too, because Kayleig's unfollowing it. I can't do it I can't do it on my phone. My phone will probably die. So I'm gonna focus on just getting a lot of footage for Nobble and Fat Boss and myself and taking pictures with my camera kit. The phone dying thing can be solved with one of these. I'm prepared. It's a little battery charger. Yeah. That's true. I have enough to worry about. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. But for everyone here behind the scenes of the Final Boss TV crew, thank you guys very much for watching. Again, we are live every Sunday, except next Sunday, at 1 PST, 4 EST, and 10 CET, pending guests. Sometimes it changes. But we thank you very much for watching. We have a special episode next week that'll be the first-hand accounting of my footage and stuff at BlizzCon, and then Fat Boss TV and Nobble will have awesome videos out that are raid and lore oriented. But then the 17th we'll have our wrap-up episode, so we'll see you all then. Have fun. If you're going to BlizzCon, definitely come see us. If not, watch the virtual ticket and we'll all geek out together when it's whatever the expansion is. We're not going to say it right now. It's okay. But thank you guys very much for being here. You guys are awesome. Thank you much. You gotta wave bye. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you guys. Thanks, everybody.